Hello and welcome back to the EF5 podcast. Today, we are going to handle some important things, such as moving forward. Now, what does moving forward mean? Moving forward means continuing through whatever plan that you have set, whether it be you pivoting or you handling a situation or problem. It's just continuing forward through that, or going, as we talked about, you and I before. Go. So that is a very important trait. Would a trait be a good word to use for that? Is like moving forward?
I don't even know what trait means.
You don't know what trait means?
Yeah, give me that definition.
I don't know what it means either. I just kind of I know it when I see it.
You're born with it?
Yep, born with it. Nah,
is that
like,
a trait? You know when you see it?
Well, a trait is like it's like something that someone like possesses, you know, like a personality
like my good
trait.
looks?
Yeah, I mean that's
Yes.
a trait. That's a physical trait. But no, like is moving forward something that is like people are born with, or do you learn it, or do you acquire it?
Well,
or
whatever episode we have that fear on.
Episode 3.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not good at remembering stuff.
it's all right. Numbers are hard. That's why you're not an accountant.
That kind of throws out how to handle it in a
Mhm.
sense. You know, a lot of times that fear kind of distorts your view. Should I pause, stop, back up,
Mhm.
or go forward?
Okay.
And sometimes it's a fault too, moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, if you move past, you know, like I brought up handling problems, whether that problem is, you know, a bad worker or someone with an attitude issue. If you just ignore it and let it simmer, that simmer is gonna turn into, you know, an incendiary device. At one point, it's gonna burn you down. It's gonna burn a lot of people down.
There's no doubt going forward's better than going backwards.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how do you win a battle?
Right.
Backing up?
Floyd Mayweather did that. 20,
When
30
did he do
years.
that?
That's all he does. Those a couple punches, runs away.
Well, now you're into boxing.
Nah, I totally I get what you mean.
At some point, you have to attack.
Yeah, you have to.
And where does your win come? When you attack.
Absolutely.
So if you want to win, then you got to go.
Absolutely.
This is probably bad. The election is probably opposite of that.
Okay. Where are you going with this?
I don't know if the guy who won moved forward very much.
Ooh.
That's probably a example of when you can win by sitting still.
Well, the real question is, how do you know who won?
Well, that's still in debate.
Yep.
So
Anyway, so you don't
let's
even
jump
know.
past them.
You don't even know if whoever won moved forward or not, because you don't know who won.
That's true. But I will say, for them to get there, they had to move forward.
Yeah,
irregardless.
absolutely.
Both of them, no
Mhm.
matter what side you're on. And I mean, that's relative. That's
Right.
just personal opinion, preference along the way.
So is it something that's acquired, or is it something that you learn over time, or do you think people are born with it, or what do you think?
Well, the famous quote I heard one day is, when the baby comes out, the doctor doesn't say, "Oh, there's a born leader."
Right.
Like, we're all born with the opportunity to do some things that are great.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference is, do we choose to take advantage of those opportunities?
Okay.
And to go that direction, you have to go.
Right.
You have to move forward.
Absolutely.
So-
And it's something that, like, kind of an aside is, I know, like, a common definition of luck is opportunity plus time, right?
I don't believe in luck.
Well, that's why it's opportunity plus time. You
Correct.
take every opportunity that you have with time that you've experienced, and that's what you make your luck like that.
People aren't lucky.
People opportunistic.
Correct. And how do you get opportunistic? By moving forward.
Yep, absolutely.
So, I mean, there's obviously people that are more energetic, more open in a public environment versus more reclusive, I guess.
Yeah.
So you have all those traits that help others more than some.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I think we all have it. It's how you choose to look at it.
Okay.
Meaning, no matter what the person's personality is, there are things they desire.
Mm-hmm.
And they go get them. They move forward to get them.
Right.
Now, money could not be important to this person over here, and a relationship's more important to the person with no money.
Right.
And the other person, money's more important.
Mm-hmm.
So you have two different viewpoints of what they desire.
Okay.
But the person that acquires the relationship will go get it.
Okay.
The person that wants the money is going to go get it.
Okay.
So the person without the money looks like they can't move forward with a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
but they have the ability to move forward.
Right.
So it's a lot of times how we look at it.
So it's
We think we're not born with it, or we don't have that ability in this arena,
okay.
because that's not where we're comfortable with. That's typically goes back to fear. We're more fearful that we're going to fail
Mm-hmm.
and not accepting the failure as education.
Absolutely.
And then going, boom, I learned something. Next time I'm going to win.
Okay.
And
So
a lot of that's ego, because we're embarrassed to acknowledge we failed.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's not, something that's easy to break either.
No, and I mean, I've been in all those elements.
Absolutely.
But when you sit back and you look at the mirror and say, okay, what can I own from it? Then you realize you can grow from it, and then you can move forward again.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So you would say it's probably more of a learned trait than anything?
There's just like everything we just laid out here.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that are going to have the ability to do it quicker,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what it looks like.
Well, as with anything, I mean, it's the same thing with sports, too. I mean, some people are going to be able to pick up and throw a baseball 90 miles an hour, whereas some people are going to be able to pick up a baseball and not even
Correct.
use their arm correctly. It's going to look like, a toddler trying to walk or something.
But there's so many examples is that person that doesn't know how to use it, that's not athletically gifted, can learn that if they choose and desire and they have the want for that.
Absolutely.
They can go get it.
They can move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's really, do we listen to ourselves or do we talk to ourselves? Meaning, do we listen to the negative things that we can't do this, we can't do that, or do we start talking to ourselves that we can?
Okay. And my next question is kind of related to the last thing that you said, the talking versus listening, the acquiring, the learning of how to continue in that pursuit, to continue moving forward. How do you particularly acquire or learn that? Is it, through the kind of third person point of view, like you said, talking and listening, or?
One of the key things that stand out for sure is having self-respect. And what does that mean? That means if I say I'm going to go to the gym today and I don't go, then I've lied to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've damaged my own relationship with myself.
Okay.
So if I say I'm going to go and I go, now I've built a win. Now I have more respect for myself.
Okay.
So as I gain more self-respect for my own decisions with myself, then I start building confidence.
Okay.
And then when I also recognize that I don't live up to what I'm saying, and I'm honest with that, and I fix it, then I can also be honest with myself outside of my own relationship with the self-respect,
Mm-hmm.
and then I can grow.
Absolutely.
So most people you see are challenged because they don't have that confidence in their self, but it's because they're not keeping the promises to their own self.
Mm-hmm.
So then everything they're involved with is a second guess or negative things, that luck is not happening for them.
Right.
But they don't even realize they're damaging the potential for that to happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, I know something that Andy Frisella said. I don't know if it was on an MFCEO episode or if a Real AF episode. I don't remember which one it was on. It might have been MFCEO actually. He said that a lot of what he did to get habitual in his in his emotions and stuff like that, but also just generally as a mental health helper, was he just took a notebook and wrote down, I think he said 4 things, but I've heard 3, 4, or 5 things that are critical to success or critical to their day that he should accomplish.
His power list.
Power list, yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. And whether it be read 10 pages, walk a mile, I don't know what the other ones were, like eating healthier, whether it be like eating more fruit or something, just critical task. And every time you complete one, you check it off. And when you finish it, you put a giant W on it, right?
Win the day.
And you won the day.
Win the day.
Absolutely. And that definitely, it helps a lot more than people think. I mean,
Well,
just that little bit of winning after a while builds some self-respect, like you mentioned.
Well, a lot of people know that I enjoy ball, whether it be baseball or softball.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy sports in general. I enjoy the competition, the win-loss, the grind to try to win.
Right.
And with that, there's nothing new I'm going to teach anybody in the game.
Mm-hmm.
We all know how it's done.
Absolutely.
So the same thing as the items we're talking about. You referenced Andy Frisella. What I shared about the self-respect comes from Ed Milet.
Okay.
And Ed broke it down just like I did, maybe a little bit more eloquent. He's got a little bit more experience than me. But in a sense, he got it from Tony Robbins.
Okay.
So the things I'm sharing are the things that I've learned that really helped me along the way. And hopefully it helps somebody else. And they have been learned from continuing education from others that have been through it.
Absolutely.
And when he hit that self-respect, it really hit home, and it's a core of how to move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you don't have confidence in yourself, there's a difference between arrogance and confidence. But if you don't have that self-confidence, it's really hard to move forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, I mentioned Andy Frisella. You mentioned Ed Milet. And you briefly mentioned Tony Robbins. But if you, are interested in more about the Ed Milets and Andy Frisella's,
check them out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll be sure to drop a link of their – is it just called the Ed Milet Show? Is that all it's called?
Yep.
Awesome. I'll drop that. And then Andy, I don't think he doesn't have the MFCEO anymore on YouTube.
No,
right?
but if you go and you look,
it's on Spotify. It is on Spotify.
And if you look on iTunes, Andy has cataloged everything from the MFCEO project, and now it's the Real AF. So you get a little bit of mixture of everything in the Real AF.
Absolutely. And it's the same way on Spotify too.
Okay.
Real AF, it starts at like a certain point, and then MFCEO takes over again.
I'm MySpace old school, so I haven't even made it to Spotify yet.
But one thing we have made it to is on YouTube as you're watching this right now, or maybe on one of our social media pages, such as Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn.
Look at that transition. He's like all over it.
I'm so good at this stuff, dude. I'm so good. So easy peasy.
That's what the crowd says.
That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. It's not just from you two. I'm hearing it from a lot of people.
I know. I'm going to have to up your pay.
Very
keep you
appreciative
around.
of it. Hey, man, I'm not listen, can I get some more compliments on this YouTube video, please? But yeah, absolutely. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share it with somebody if you found some value in it. Other than that, do you have anything else you want to add to the importance of moving forward and why we should keep moving forward?
I think that's it for the moment.
Well, as we move forward, there has to be an ending somewhere, and this is where it's at for this episode.
We out.
We out.